Hey guys, Sean's in the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. Another day, another connection conversation show. It's all about providing value to you, hoping that you take the information, the strategies, the tips, the ideas that we talk about during our conversation, you actually implement, you take action. Don't just sit here and listen to what we're doing and nod and say, oh yeah, that's great, but actually do it and try it. That's all we're asking. Couple things I want you to share with us while we're in the conversation. Drop some emojis, the fist, the thumbs up, the fire, if you agree. And if you have questions, don't hesitate, drop that in the comments as well. And least that you can do, if you're one that just watches things, hit or comment #live if you're on the live, or #replay on the replay, so we know who you are. And if you're one that wants to go a step further, where are you from? Drop that in the comments. We would love to communicate and know where our reach is. So let me bring on my next guest, Robert Rauf. What's going on, Robert?
Hello, how are you?
Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it on this. We have some crazy times going on right now in New Jersey, right? I don't know if it's hitting you as hard as it is up north.
It's actually visibility's bad. I mean, it's crazy.
It's like a dome of like orangey yellow. I'm not sure if that's what you're getting now, but that's what it was yesterday by us. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it is. I mean, I was driving down the parkway yesterday, and I bet you it was like a quarter mile of visibility. And I think this last night got worse.
It's a tough time we're going through, and but we're gonna push through. I got Alexander with us today, as always. He's always making a cameo, saying hello. I always do things so that my kids are I'm mentoring them. We're all mentoring, and for parents, we're showing them what we do. And I wanted him to look back, be like, look, I was a part of Dad's jobs, Dad's work, etc. But before we get into it, Robert, can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm a licensed mortgage banker. So I graduated college way back in 1987 with a degree in economics. And now what do? I knew I didn't want to work in New York. And I stumbled into mortgage banking, actually working for a bank, and then quickly switched over from the bank world to the mortgage banking world. And I'm glad I did early. I did that back in I guess it was 1989. I went from banking to mortgage banking, and so I've spent my entire career as a loan officer in the mortgage banking world. So I'm licensed. Which means continuing education, all that other fun stuff, whereas not everybody is. And the only thing I do is residential mortgages. So my bread and butter is putting people in houses, helping them, structure their finances with their house, just for a nice financial plan to keep them happy, healthy. As I say, it doesn't necessarily matter what I can do as a lender, because I don't want somebody, it's what we can do together for them, because I don't want them mad at me 360 times as they're making their payments. So the conversation is just getting it together so that it's a good experience for my client, because happy clients are the really only reason to do this. So
if we don't have happy clients, we don't have business, because people are going to be out there talking about us, slandering our names. So we got to make sure we are doing what we say we're going to do. That's an important thing. And the service part it seems like it's lacking a lot of times now. People don't answer their phone. Right. They don't return emails. And it's the little things. If you do that consistently, you're going to have happy clients, and they're going to come back for more or recommend you more often.
I mean, unfortunately, it's our clients that don't answer their phones sometimes as well. And in my world, having that conversation like this, maybe not face to face, but at least on the phone, it's so much easier and faster to discuss somebody's situation in a two-way conversation than it is by email or text, because you don't get the inflections or in my world, it's like a tree. It branches out into all different questions based on the answer. So having a good old-fashioned phone call, which seems like it's hard to do these days, is really the basis to getting started and getting someone what they need, whether it be qualifying, etc. So you really need to have that live two-way conversation, or it will never happen.
Yeah, jumping on the phone, doing a video call is always key. Yeah. Before we continue, Robert, hold on one second. For our call, I noticed I follow you a lot on all your socials, and I see you're into wine, and you're doing some TikToks. Someone in the business over 36 years. doing TikToks about different things, and wine was one of them. What's your passion about wine?
Oh yeah, that started decades ago. I think my son might have been a little bit older than yours there, and he's almost, how old is he now? He's 29.
Flies.
We were walking through Home Depot one day, and they had a set of French doors on a clearance rack. I said, that would make a great wine cellar. Bought the French doors, refinished my basement, and made my first wine cellar. And then it became a hobby, and it just kind of became fun to buy stuff and see what's going to happen to it. And I've actually gotten fairly decent at it right now. Just built my second wine cellar, and we downsized, and downsizing is not easy. We went from a big house to a smaller house, and it's not even a small house. I'm about finished putting an addition on our downsized house, but I built a new wine cellar, and I think I have over 400 bottles in there right now. But it's kind of fun just when you have a place to lay it down and see what happens to it. Just part of the fun is just hunting for something that's going to be good, not necessarily today, but 5-10 years down the road. So
now, do you have a favorite wine? Are you a connoisseur of all, just wine in general?
Well, there's a few. It's like kids. I mean, you've got a bunch of kids. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah.
It depends a little bit on my mood, but I'm a big. I like a single vineyard Cabernet, and I'm actually lately into single vineyard Pinot Noirs. Not really that mass produced, for lack of a better word, crap that you see, but because a lot of the main brands you hear advertised are just these blends because they can't really get it right with one grape, so they blend it from different vineyards. So the problem with having it as a hobby is you get snobby too quickly, and so it's a little bit of everything. But I lean 98% towards reds, but Pinot Noirs, Cabernets, Zinfandels would be probably the tops. Some Super Tuscans, but it's just fun. And my wife and I have very similar tastes, and it makes it easier that way. And it makes for some fun we'll do long weekends out in Napa and just hop around vineyards. So
no, we enjoy, my wife and I go to Warwick Winery up in Warwick, New York. It's a great avenue to be outside, have some wine. It's something that it gets people together. Now, when you have a wine cellar, do you have a collection of wine glasses? Because isn't there glasses that go to different wine?
Somewhat, but I mean, I do like a nice glass, but I don't go for a specific, Bordeaux versus Cab versus, I just like, I guess the glasses I use are probably more like a Cabernet glass, decent sized bowl. So, but and also like a delicate glass. So I'm a little picky on the glass too, but never a plastic cup. But but I don't go that crazy with different glass for different wine. So, but you mentioned New York, Finger Lakes have some great stuff. So if you do up around Seneca Lake, there's some bad stuff there too, but you can actually find some pretty decent things up in the Finger Lakes. Yeah.
Definitely, guys. Those are interested in wine, drop a comment. I would love to know what you guys like. Now, I would love to switch. Let's get back into mortgages. Are you seeing a lot of people in today's market purchasing, refinancing, or more investors doing a lot of, hard money type of stuff? And I'm sure maybe you don't do hard money if that's the case.
No, I mean, there's really not a hard money stuff left anymore. It's still very much a first-time buyer-driven purchase market. But overall, just the issues we're having in the real estate world is inventory, and it's not just New Jersey; it's national. Inventory is a fraction of what it normally is. I'd probably say it's about less than half of what a normal market is, with a larger population than we've ever had as a country. So, people talking about prices crashing and things after the boom we went through the last couple of years, it almost cannot happen because of supply and demand. Simple economics. We're still seeing bidding wars on houses. I saw one a couple of weeks ago, 25 offers on one house, and if you're going to sell a house, you'll probably get way more for it than you thought you would. Some of the ones that are the move up buyers are probably a little bit slower, mostly because they're afraid to list their house because they don't know where they're going to go. And and that becomes self-fulfilling for inventory. You don't list it. And the other problem too is first-time buyers, they take away inventory without replacing it. So whereas, if I move, I'm going to sell my house and buy one, it'll be a neutral event for inventory. But in general, it's like refis occasional. I'm doing most of the refis I will do is to restructure someone's finances. I actually just closed one a couple of weeks ago where I increased their mortgage payment by, it's a little bit more than $1,000. I think $1,015. I increased their mortgage payment. Why would you do that? Well, because I got rid of $3,600 worth of debt. So that $1,000 increase in their mortgage got rid of $2,600 worth of monthly payments. So, and it wasn't even that big of a loan. So it really put them in a much better position. And they'll actually have the ability, once they get their life in order, to get rid of that mortgage in years, not decades. And I've given them the financial plan to follow. So people forget their house can be part of the financial planning tool as well. So.
Very true. You can't have any equity if you're a renter. So having the ability to have some equity, pay off your debts, put you into a better position, as long as you learn from whatever your past practices were. Exactly. If you have a lot of credit card debt, will you continue on that path? That's just on another conversation. Now on your wall, you have, is that Barnegat Light? The lighthouse?
I don't even know what lighthouse. I forget what lighthouse it is. That was just one of those purchases saying, hey, that would look good. And we actually, in our old house, that was in our bathroom. And I said, that'd be great in my office. So
I was going to ask you if that's I know you're into sailing. Are you able to sail around that area, or if that's an area that you even go?
I'm not even sure where that one is. Barnegat Light is actually on the tip of Long Beach Island, so you can't sail around it. But and that's definitely not Barney. But yeah, I've been racing sailboats. God, I started racing in high school, and then raced a lot in college. So, and for me, a lot of it's just kind of like that mental escape from work, which you really need. And sailing's number one for me. I actually did a lot of research on this in my own head. I opened an office for our company in 1996, and I didn't sail that summer. And then somebody called me up the end of the year, like for a fall series, to race with them. And I said yes right away. Went out, raced, and before I even, as I'm stepping off the boat, I said, holy crap, I didn't think about work once. And I didn't realize I had like all that work pressure building up and steam about to come out of my ears. Firm believer in me time. You need something scheduled that will keep you away from work. And it's got to be somewhat selfish. It can't be, you got to do it for you. I know you're a family guy. I am too, but you definitely need something outside of work that's just for you to shut off the world. And sailing's really does it for me. And mental, physical, and competitive. Sailing's all three, right? Because it's not just sailing, it's racing. People usually say, oh, it must have been so relaxing. I come back battered and bruised most of the time. But for me, if I can take two of those three, it shuts work off and keeps me fresh. So firm believer in having something outside of work, and just keep your head clear.
I'm with you with that. I'm all about health, into keeping myself. I want to have the body of when I'm a grandpa. I want my kids be like, and my grandkids be like, holy crap, that's grandpa. So that's my, motivation and my outlet for mental health, making myself feel better, get away. It's my time away when either if the kids I try to do it before they're awake, if it's in the morning or late at night, one way or the other, I try to get it done so that I know, yes, I have that done. It gets me feeling good, have the endorphins.
Right.
And I like to play golf, but having 4 kids been a little challenging, but that's the goal of making more appointments, because that is a challenge, because I'm out there for 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on where you're playing. 4 would be great, but you never know what's going to happen. But the time is tough to commit. But it's just something that I would love to do more of. So sailing, for those into sailing, that's an awesome thing. Never had anyone on here that actually had that passion, which is great too that you're sharing, Robert. Thank you so much. And then another thing I was found interesting, you're into woodworking.
Yeah, that's kind of my winter time. Well, you follow me. You saw me build the wine cellar this past winter.
Yep.
I do things overboard. I never do anything halfway. I guess it's, some of that's that person. that type A personality comes jumping out every now and then. I don't think I'm a pure A, but I'm really close. And I'm a perfectionist. So I enjoy doing stuff myself. And same thing. Shop time shuts work off. Yeah. And that keeps me healthy. And the other thing too is I can do things better than most contractors I hire to do things. It just takes me longer. Plus, you got to work gets in the way, and
you have other things to get involved, not streamline focus, right?
Yeah. But like when you give you an idea, like when we moved and we downsized about 2 years ago, my shop took up an entire pod. So yeah, I've got more than your average person does. But that's one of my outlets that helps keep me healthy, and I just enjoy building things from furniture, and actually my favorite thing is actually with my lathe. Like turning bowls on a lathe or something. It just something fun about taking something square and making it round, and making a mess.
That is awesome. Hey, having hobbies that again get, like you said, get yourself away from work, more focused, and keeping you. We never have less stress, but the stress levels are lower when you have some things that you're involved
in. And in jobs like ours, I mean, we spend so much time beating our heads against the desk and don't necessarily see something happen. So my father-in-law was a union carpenter, and I almost envied him a little bit because at the end of the day, you can step back and see what happens. We don't see stuff. Yeah, we push paper around, we punch on a keyboard, and it's not always that fulfilling in terms of your brain. So to be able to do something and see a result, I think that in itself is mentally healthy.
Yeah, you're right. As far as insurance, mortgages, we don't have anything you see. It's an experience. Real estate, you see the home. Car sales, you see the car. You don't have that in our fields, and it's just an experience that we want to make sure we put people through. I appreciate. Hey, we're all multitasking, and this guy again wants to be the star of the show. Is there any final thoughts you can share with those that are watching for marketing, for TikTok, for business in general that they can help and use some value to implement?
Well, I guess the big thing is, don't hesitate. Just jump into something. You overthink stuff, you never do it. So sometimes just jumping on something and doing it. Doing something is better than not. I mean, if we toss it into the mortgage side or the real estate side, don't wait to buy a house. Stop paying a landlord's mortgage, pay your own. Don't worry about rates because the rate's temporary. And we really think rates are going to be down. This time next year, rates are going to be down far enough where everybody that bought a house in the last year or two is going to be able to refinance. So, but prices are going to continue to go up. And as rates go back down, you're going to see more people out there looking to buy. So you're going to have more competition. So, everybody's saying it's going to crash. It can't. And God, anybody can shoot us out a message. I'll show you some of the data. There's just no way. I shouldn't say no way. There's going to be some markets I'm sure oversold, but on a global scale and in my market in New Jersey, highly unlikely we're going to see any significant price drops. If anything, prices are continuing to go up. Any loss we saw from the peak is already gone, and we're climbing above that right now when you look at the national numbers. So business-wise, get up and work. Do your job. Remember, the phone's a two-way device. It makes outgoing calls too. Don't wait for it to ring. That's the big thing. And get in people's faces. This is what makes life work.
No, I appreciate you coming on, dropping some massive value. Those just tuning in right now, you're going to have to wait to this upload to get the value that was in earlier. And Robert, thanks so much for being with us today. And for everyone else, we hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
Bye all.